wherever you are. Matt here with your devotional, encouraging you to do all that you do to the glory of God. This week we're going to be talking about what's called philosophical materialism. When you hear the term materialism, most often the image that is conjured in your mind might be one of people who pursue a life devoted to the acquisition of material possessions. Materialistic people value comfort and wealth more than spiritual pursuits. They often gauge their success based on having more wealth and possessions than others. However, there's another type of materialism. Now, philosophical materialism is the belief that physical matter is all that exists. Everything, including the mind, morality, love, consciousness, reason, and purpose, is nothing more than chemical reactions in the brain and physical processes. In other words, you are just atoms in motion, and everything you think or feel is just your brain firing. Now, materialism is extremely common today among atheists, skeptics, and many scientists. Why materialism sounds appealing? Materialism promises scientific respectability. It gives simple explanations, like the brain did it. There's no accountability to God, and there's a universe without mystery. But when you actually examine it closely, it collapses on itself. The core problem is that materialism undermines rationality. Materialism says, your thoughts are caused by physical forces, not by logic, reason, truth, or evidence. So if your thoughts are simply the result of atoms colliding, then the reason you believe materialism is also just atoms colliding. So that means that you didn't believe materialism because it's true. You believed it because your brain chemistry forced you to. What this does is it destroys the possibility of reason, knowledge, logic, science, and moral responsibility. Materialism, in a word, is intellectually self-defeating. If materialism is true, you have no reason to trust your own mind. As C.S. Lewis once wrote, if minds are wholly the result of irrational causes, then we have no reason to trust any belief, including materialism. Materialism also undermines science itself. Science is built on the reliability of the human mind, the uniformity of nature, the existence of objective truth. Materialism, however, denies that the mind is anything more than electrochemical reactions, that truth has any existence beyond brain states, that the universe has purpose, order, or reason behind it. So, materialism tries to use reason to argue for a worldview that destroys reason. That is self-defeating. Materialism cannot account for consciousness. Materialism has no explanation for why we have subjective experience, what it feels like to be me, why we have thoughts at all, why we have qualia, color perception, pain, beauty, love. Neurons firing do not logically produce consciousness. So materialists face a dilemma. Either consciousness is an illusion, or it's real but cannot be explained by matter alone. Either way, materialism is in trouble. Similarly, it cannot account for morality. If everything is just matter, then there is no objective right or wrong. Morality is merely a chemical preference. Love, loyalty, justice, courage are evolutionary illusions. If morality is an illusion, then the Holocaust wasn't evil, it was just matter in motion. Charity, similarly, isn't good, it's just matter in motion. And there is no basis to judge anything as right or wrong. But the fact is, most materialists do not live this way, which is itself evidence of the worldview's internal contradiction. Materialism cannot account for purpose. If the universe is purely material, life has no purpose. History has no direction. Human actions have no ultimate meaning, because you are a cosmic accident. But humans universally long for purpose, meaning, significance, and a story to belong to. Materialism says that longing is meaningless, but the fact that we have it at all is evidence against materialism. It removes free will. If all thoughts and actions are just physical processes, laws of cause and effect, neurons firing deterministically, then you don't ultimately choose anything, and you cannot be morally responsible. Justice is impossible, learning is meaningless, love is a chemical trick, and every belief you hold was predetermined. A worldview that removes the conditions necessary for believing it cannot be rationally believed. In contrast, the Christian worldview provides what materialism cannot. Christianity provides coherent foundations for rationality. God created humans in his image with minds capable of reason. Morality, objective good and evil flow from God's nature. Consciousness, Humans are body and soul. Consciousness is spiritual. Meaning, life has purpose because it is designed by God. Free will and responsibility. Scripture affirms both God's sovereignty and human responsibility. And science. The universe is orderly because it was created by a rational God. So in summary, materialism says that you are just chemicals. But if that's true, then you cannot trust your thinking and you have no free will. You have no moral responsibility, no meaning, no purpose, no consciousness, or it's just a meaningless illusion, and you cannot know truth itself. Materialism destroys itself. It is ultimately self-defeating and violates the law of non-contradiction. In contrast, the Christian worldview preserves reason, provides morality, explains consciousness, grounds science in the objective, gives purpose, meaning, and hope. Well, Lord willing, I'll see you on Sunday. God bless.